All right. Well, I did not expect this many people during lunchtime, so thank you for being here. I won't be that long, but we have a few things to cover together, so let's get started. Well, first, I have an announcement to make. My dishwasher is broken. It's not a use case, it's real. My dishwasher is really broken. And it's actually been broken for, I think, 8 to 9 months now. I think the main reason for which it has not been fixed yet is because I never actually got someone to repair it for me. I sent a few emails to a few companies, but I never get replies. And maybe some people here are like me, I actually hate to call companies to ask for services. I don't know why, because I mean, they do dishwasher repairing for a living, so I suppose they would be happy to get my call. But I don't know, I feel like I'm going to annoy them with my problems, so I never called anyone. So my dishwasher is still broken and I'm still washing my dishes by hand. Hopefully one day we will have a solution. The thing is, I'm doing this talk here for two main reasons. First, because we have a lot of new features to show. Second, because hopefully there's someone here in the audience that works in a company that repairs dishwashers. If you could implement appointments so that I could book a meeting with you without having to call, that would be really nice. Thank you. Anyway, let's go straight without further ado to the talk. What's new in appointments? My name is Luc Nellis. I'm the product owner of this app. So I'm really happy and proud to show what we've been cooking in R&D. If you followed a bit appointment in the last versions, you've seen that we've been making it evolve really, really fast. And this year also we had quite a few features, quite a few flows, so a lot to tackle together. If it's your first talk, so this is a slide where you can have the link to my pad and also the QR code if you're lazy like me. This will lead you to a page where you can ask your questions. The link is pad.odoo.com/p/LNA-APMT, like appointment. We'll try to cover as many of those as possible. If we don't have time, we have a booth at the end of this room here. You look for marketing and we'll be there and we'll be happy to go through things, even things that we covered here. If you need more time or more explanations, we'll be really happy to help. But we'll have some Q&A time at the end of this talk to cover those in any case. All right, so in R&D at Odoo, we like to work on things that help people work better. And we focus on the real problems that SMEs have on a daily basis. If you talk about appointment, one of the biggest challenges that companies have, one of the things that makes their life really miserable, is no-show. No-show is terrible for any company, whether you're an hospital, an hairdresser, a restaurant. It's always dramatic when you have a lot of customers that just never show up or cancel at the very last minute, which is sort of the same, because in both cases, you cannot find a replacement for them. So we really looked at it and wanted to help companies make it better. Why? Because this is actually some figures that I found online. Did you know that 18% of bar, restaurant, and pub owners in the UK actually considered closing just because of late cancellations and no-shows? Because it was making their life so bad that they actually wanted to stop their activity. It's from a serious source because it's from Barclays, so it's a bank. I suppose they know what they're talking about. Anyway, that's pretty huge, and so we wanted to make this easier for them. No-show is a problem for many reasons. It means that you're losing revenue, right? Because if you're a restaurant and you have some tables that are not busy on a Friday night, you're losing a lot of money. It's also really complicated in terms of staffing because let's say you ask someone to cancel their plan on a Friday night because you need help at the restaurant. If the customers don't show up, you look really stupid as a boss, right? And it creates a lot of problems with your staff that could be avoided. The team morale, of course, is really bad. If you have people that you know that are lawyers or doctors, etc., having meetings that just don't happen because the people don't show up is really annoying. And if it adds up again and again and again, it gets worse and worse. And of course, if you talk about a restaurant, the main issue also is that, well, they have to prepare a lot of the sauces, the vegetables, etc. This all goes to waste, and there's no cook in the world that actually likes to throw away this much food just because the people did not show up. So that will be sort of the main focus of this talk, and we'll go through the different features to make this happen. We'll try to see how we can avoid no-shows, what are the things that we can set up in Odoo to try to make sure that customers will actually show up and be there. So this is your classic booking flows. There's no need to go really further than that. It's just to have some different steps. You have someone that thinks, oh, I need to book a restaurant, or I need to go to the an appointment with a doctor, or maybe my dishwasher is broken and I need to find someone to fix it. Then they search online, they find your service, they pick what they need, they actually book the service, and then there's the service delivery itself, okay? Those are the different flows, nothing new here, but it's just to see, okay, if this is the flow, what can we set up in Odoo to make sure that they actually do show up? Well, the first thing is obvious. Let's send reminders. Let's use a lot of reminders, because a lot of people that don't show up, they don't always do it because they're evil and they want you to really feel bad. They just do it because they forgot about the meeting. They took it and then they forgot about it because they're really busy. So reminders are a very simple but effective way to make sure that people show up. In Odoo, we have a standard feature that does it. And if you use it, I really advise to use text messages, because emails, they sometimes end up in the spam folder, or people don't read their emails in real time. Text messages, I mean, if you're like me, whenever your phone vibrates, you know it's a text message, you just check it right away. And if you see, all right, I had booked a table at the restaurant tomorrow, you will know for sure and you will remember about it. For now, we have emails and text messages. Pretty soon, I hope we'll be able to also deploy WhatsApp reminders, which are just as effective, because it just makes sure that they actually open and read this reminder. So that's the first step. Now, if that's not enough, we have added a new feature in Odoo 18 that actually detects duplicates. Why? Because a lot of people, as I said, they don't come because they forgot about a meeting. So sometimes people book a meeting with their hairdresser, and then a few days afterwards, they forgot about it, and they think, oh, I need to book a meeting with the hairdresser, and they book a second one. The problem is that, of course, nobody needs 2 haircuts in a row, so they will just show up for the second meeting and forget about the first one, which means that you have a slot where your staff will be waiting for someone that never comes. So how can we do it? We have a feature that prevents duplicate. As always with Odoo, we keep things open. We don't want to block customers because maybe there's a real reason for which they're taking different appointments. So let's just have a look. This is my database. And I actually already booked a meeting with this specific team. When I try to book a second one, as I said, we don't block the customer, but we say, hey, wait a minute. Did you know that you already booked a table? And from there, as a customer, I can decide, yes, but I really love this restaurant. I want to go there as much time as possible. Or, okay, let's review my booking because indeed I forgot about this one. Once you see this, you can go to review booking. You can see the reminders of, okay, this is actually what I had booked. And if needed, you can just cancel it and book another one. It's just a simple heads up, a simple warning, but with that, you're already making sure that you avoid duplicate and you reduce, again, the no-show rate for your company. So that's new in Odoo 18. All right, what else can we do? We can use confirmations. If you have a business where it's really important to make sure that everybody's there, you can add a manual step. So let me show you how. The idea is we will ask users to confirm the meetings, so that by default, when someone books something, it's not confirmed yet, it's booked as a request, and someone will have to manually validate it. So let's have a look here. Let me show you how it's done. So that's my appointment app, and this was my appointment type that I was using for my restaurant. You see my tables, the number of bookings that I have, etc. The idea is that in options, you see I can decide, do I want a manual confirmation of the meetings? Can anybody actually book something, or will I tell the customer, wait, we got your request, but for now it's just a request. When you do that, you can specify a specific threshold at which we actually, oh, I lost the image, it's back. All right, you can specify a specific threshold at which Odoo should stop auto-confirming requests. Why is that useful? If you're a restaurant, you could say, okay, up to 80% of the capacity of my restaurant, you can just accept everyone. But from that level, I need to manually check because I need to see if I can put extra tables, if I have enough staff, etc., etc. So you can say, let me confirm at 0 or let me confirm at a specific threshold. The idea is that you are in charge and you can manually confirm. What's really cool with that is that then when someone makes a request, it's not confirmed yet, the customer knows about it, and yourself, you can have a look at it and see, okay, do I confirm or do I cancel? And maybe you will want to call them and say, okay, I see you have a request, do you still want to come? Are you still available? If yes, I will confirm your request. The idea is we are adding extra layers to make sure that people don't make us waste our time. Okay. Let's say that it's done and it's still not working. The best solution to most issues in the world is money, so let's make them pay. If you make people pay for a booking, you are sure that usually they should come, and even if they don't come, it's not an issue because you got at least some money back, so you're not wasting your time, you got part of the service that was paid. It's up to you to decide the amount. Do they pay the full service, or maybe do they just pay a booking fees just in case? What's nice in Odoo 18 is that now the booking fees can stack up depending on how many seats the persons are booking, right? If you're a really fine restaurant, well, if you ask for $50 per seat, you want to make sure that if someone books a table for 8, it's $50 times 8 because you want to make sure that you are not going to lose those seats. It's up to you to decide, but again, we have this flexibility now in Odoo 18, which means that you can collect the money before even confirming the meeting. Again, there's no magic. You just accept here upfront payment, and you can link your specific product with a different price. You can have different products with different price depending on the appointment types, and Odoo will not let you validate a request here without going through the usual e-commerce flow that we all know, where you need to pay before confirming your order. The idea is your calendar should not get requests for people that didn't pay, and that's what we do with this option. Okay, let's say that still this is not enough and not working because, for example, you still have a lot of people that even if they actually paid, they don't show up. Well, we have some new views that we created, and we really have in mind the staff that's working in those companies. The goal is to provide an overview where we try to make sure that everything is available at the same place. Let me show you how it goes. So if I go back to my dashboard and I open appointment, so this is the list of all my appointment types. I can have different ones on my website, depending on the service, maybe how long it takes, the different prices, etc. Here, to keep things simple, I only have one. When I click on it, now I will see a Gantt view that will show you how here all the things, let's zoom in like this. So those are all the meetings that I have planned. So you see I have the overview here, and I can just navigate. So this was a bit later, this was in the past. And here I will have, so every line is the resource, right? And every cell here is a booking. I can activate them manually. I can create some new ones. If someone calls, I can create a new one. I can add closing days. Let's say, for example, that the table 5 won't be available, for example, on that day. I can just say add a closing day. I will select table 5. I can add a reason if needed. I can say, so we said it was on the 13th, so let's do it like this. And I can say table needs repairing. It will be added, and so from there on, this table won't be available for the next customers. The idea is that sometimes your resources, you need to clean them, to fix them, to repair them, etc. So we just remove them from the overview, and from the calendar that you saw on the front end, they won't be considered as available, which means that you make sure that you don't sell a service that you actually cannot deliver. You see here, I also have a reminder of how many bookings I actually need to confirm. So if I click on booking to confirm, I see here that I have a request from a certain guy called Brandon Freeman. I have the information here, and you see I have the status that we were talking about. This has been added as a request, but you see I have different levels. It can be a request, it can be booked, so that means it's confirmed. We expect the person to come. Once the person comes, we can mark it as checked in, which turns it green so that we know, it's been, I need to remove the filter. Okay, it's been checked in, so the customer is here, and we know that we are working with that person. And then we have two other states, no show, to say that person did not show up. In that case, it would turn red. which means that as a restaurant owner, I can make some follow-ups and see how many no-shows I get. Is it frequent? Is it the same customers again and again? Everything will be there in your database. Or you can just cancel them, so that's if the person calls in advance, for example, and tells you, well, I'm sorry, I have a problem, I will not be able to be there. In that case, you just cancel it, and it just disappears. The resource becomes available again on your calendar. You don't have to do anything extra. The Gantt view is really nice here because you can easily jump to today. For example, you see I have different possibilities here. And let's say that Acme Inc. says, all right, we will be a bit late. I can just click, drag and drop. It's the Gantt view as we know it in other apps. But I have this overview here where if I'm a tennis court club owner, for example, I can keep this open, and when people come in, I can say, what's your reservation? All right, I open this, you're checked in. I know that this is okay, and you see that since John Doe had booked 2 tables, because it's a big group, they're all synchronized, and we have this overview that stays really clean. So that's something that we really wanted to set up, mostly for example, restaurants. When you arrive at a restaurant, they ask for your name, and they need to make some follow-up. Because if people don't come, for example, let me see, if I drag this here, you see it turns orange. Why? Because this person is late. That person is supposed to be coming, but we are already at 15 past noon, and that person is still not there. So we turn it orange to catch the eye of the different operators that are working here, so that they know, okay, there's something to do here. We should either cancel, call that person, etc., or mark it as a no-show if it's too late. Of course, there's some things that can happen in life. There's some persons that will never come. An advice that I would give you if you're working in those industries is make it easy for people to cancel. There's no point in blocking them, in taking them hostages. They just won't come, and that's it. So in every email, reminders, etc. that we send, we let the customer potentially cancel the meeting if it's needed. But you're the master of up to which moment we actually let it happen. So we have an option, allow canceling, where you can say, well, up to 1 hour before the meeting. So that's maybe if you're a salesperson giving calls, because it's not that big of a deal, but you can say 1 day before. So up to 1 day before, you can easily cancel the meeting. Later than that, it's too late. So that's it. We saw different features that will help you to reduce the no-shows. A lot of this is new, the Gantt views, the different reminders, the duplicates, the booking fees per seat, etc., etc. But we have also a lot of other features that we didn't have time to cover. For example, we have a block that you can use in your website. So if you want to drop a specific block at the end of a blog article, for example, to say, hey, if you need more information, book a meeting with us. Now you can do it easily. And also, I will just finish by showing that when you have, so let me archive this. When you start in appointment, as I show you, there's quite a few options, and it can be a bit scary to know which configuration you should use. We added a few templates here for you. The idea is check what matches your business, and then you just click on it, and Odoo creates it for you. So this is the default configuration that we prepare for you. You can tweak it if you want, but at least you're starting from something that works out of the box. And coming soon, so it's still, we're still working on it, but I wanted to talk about it because it's going to be really big. We are working on an integration with Google Reserve. So you know when you look for the name of a restaurant on Google, you have a button to book directly from Google. We are working hard to make this possible in Odoo, so that the meeting that are showed, the slots that are showed to customers is based on what's available in Odoo, and once they book something, it arrives in your database. That will come as soon as we're done with it. As you can guess, there's a lot of work, but still it was worth mentioning because it's going to be really cool for a lot of businesses. That's it, thank you. And now we'll go through the Q&A. So here is the pad. I suppose I will have, yeah. Is there any question? Okay. Okay. So the first question that I got is there any plan to have a portal for users where they can see all the appointments that they have booked with you? The question is yes, it already exists. And if they create an account and book with that account, we will show this portal to them. If you have trouble setting it up, you can come with us, come meet us at the end of the building here, and we'll check that with you. Are duplicates also feasible for a public user? Yeah, so what I showed here, it works. So the warning that says heads up, you already have a meeting. It works if you are logged, of course, because we can recognize you, but it also works even if you're not logged when you're using the same device, because we can track and see it's the same device, so there's something strange here. And it works so even for people that are not logged in. Is there a possibility to add a set time in between appointments to take travel, delays, or cleaning time? There's some tweaks you can do with your schedules, but we are working on making it easier to have more control on the frequency at which you accept meetings. For now, there's some tweaks you can do. If you need to set it up, again, come meet us. We'll be happy to help. Can you create new statuses to match your company needs? Technically, yes, you can create new status, but you will need to be a developer to do that, because by default, those are the ones that are available, and we don't have a tool to add some new ones. Because behind those statuses, there are a lot of rules, like do we need to cancel the meeting, do we need to send an email, etc., etc. So it should be possible, but you need to be a developer. Does this also show a resource plan with appointment? So it's not, yeah. What we show here, the Gantt view that I showed, is not related to the Gantt that you have in planning. This is another tool where you have other resources, etc. So those are separate for now, at least. Can charge booking fees? Yeah, so can you charge booking fees not for the person that books the meeting, but for the company of that person? The thing is, we go through the e-commerce flow, so it depends on how you configure your e-commerce flow. And if they, for example, need to pay normally they need to pay directly to confirm the order, but there are some tweaks you could do, I suppose, or you could do it manually. People call and then you create the meeting and you send them the invoice. There's some things you could do if that's really your flow. How would we approach appointments in the case of being a consultant only for the use of meeting appointments? Yeah, it's actually made for consultants. Our consultants use it. There's a lot of features that I did not show, but for example, if you're a consultant and you're trying to book a meeting with a customer, usually you have a few moments where you're like, okay, this is the moments that I could block for you. You can just do share availabilities, and you pick directly in your calendar, okay, those are the slots where I'm available. And we create for you a calendar that you can share. Let me show you how it looks like. Again, I can say just add another. And so you see those are just the slots that I pick manually. So as a consultant, you can create on the fly some shared calendar that you can send to specific customers when you need to have a specific meeting. Can I use the module to book shared desk in the office? Yeah, so here I show the restaurant flow with tables. It works with any resource. If you have tennis courts, paddle courts, if you have meeting rooms, you can use it for all of those, and you can always ask for the payment when it's needed if you want to be sure that the resource won't be wasted. Is it possible to do booking in days, weeks, not in hours? For now, no. For now, it has a clear duration in hours, so we don't support the idea of let's book an entire weekend for now. For this, I would advise looking at the rental app that does it better than appointments. What about flexible slot of booking? Probably that's what I showed here, I guess, when you can define on the fly the different moments where you're available or not and create a new invite. Otherwise, again, I'll be there. Any integration with POS planned? Yes. The interface that I showed, we did a lot of that research for restaurant. And so directly from the POS, when you're in a restaurant, you will be able to see all those tables, all those appointments, etc. There's a talk about what's new, or maybe it was already this morning, about what's new in POS for restaurant. Check it out, because I'm sure they talked about it, and it's really cool. Can you cancel an appointment if it disappeared for the calendar? Yeah, so the idea is when you manage your appointments, you have different statuses, and you need to build your own reporting. If you cancel it, if you know a bit how it works, what we do is that we archive the meetings, but the meeting still exists. So if you can build a reporting when you can see how many canceled meetings you have per month, for example. We don't delete those, they're just hidden. By default, we hide those. Can you automatically charge no-show? Well, not really, because it would mean having the credit cards details, etc. what I would suggest is just make them pay when they book and say that this is a deposit and it would be deducted from their total bill if they come up, and if they don't come up, they will just not get that money. All right, close to the end. Any idea of the delay for the Google feature? I mean, this is research and development, and if I give you a specific date, I know that one of the developers of my team will start sweating really hard because we don't know how long it takes, especially since it's an integration with another software, so it's not only in our own hands. Can we add document to appointments? Yes, of course. You have the usual document communication flows with the chatter. You can set attachments, etc., to the person that booked. And finally, and then we can all have a lunch. Is it for scheduled meetings as it connects? Yeah, so when you are trying to book, for example, an appointment with a dentist, we only show on this page the moments where we know that the dentist is available, which means that we remove all the moments where that person already has some meetings, all the moments where that person is not working, for example, depending on the working time, and also, of course, the different leaves. So if that person is on holidays, of course, we won't make it available on the calendar. So we cross all the information that we have about that person to compute the slots that we will show you here. And I guess that's it. We're done. Thank you very much. And again, don't hesitate to come and ask your other questions if you have some. Thank you.